Hey, good people. How y'all doing? Today I'm going to be giving you all my review on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 16. Let's go. So the episode opens up with Dorit and Kyle. They are in the car traveling somewhere. And I have to say, guys, I love them with curly hair. I think they both look very pretty with the curly hair. And it looks just good on them. Dorit says to Kyle, last night was really interesting and wild. Rinna is having an extreme reaction. And of course, she's referring to Rinna's mom passing away. Rest in peace, Lois. You will be missed. I understand that these women want to give Rinna a pass for her behavior, just like they want to give Erika a pass for her behavior because these two women are going through some things. Obviously, Erika and Rinna's situation are completely different. But for Lisa Rinna, she has just been nasty since the time she first came on the show. If she wasn't trying to get into it with Kim Richards, she was coming after Lisa Vanderpump. And when she was done with Vanderpump, she would come after Yolanda. And when Yolanda was done, she would come back after Kim Richards. And then after Kim Richards, of course, it's Denise Richards. Her behavior is just vicious. There's no excuse for the type of ugliness and nastiness that this woman has brought to this franchise. And you add Erika to the mix and it just becomes almost unbearable TV. It is really, I would say, the most toxic Housewives franchise that Bravo has put out thus far. I don't know if anybody can go lower than these women have gone. I just don't know. And I have to say, like I said, Lisa Rinna is the number one culprit of this type of behavior. My vote is to vote her out. She has to go. They do not need to renew her contract. If her contract is up, I don't know what her contract look like, what the stipulations and regulations are, but she best not be coming back for another season. I mean, for real. We all deal with death and stuff like that. When my mom died, I was 15 years old. Did I hate the situation? Absolutely. Did I wish this was somebody else and not me? Absolutely. Did I take out my anger on other people? Absolutely not. So giving her a pass and, trying to sweep this under the rug, it's not going to work for me because number one, like I said, we've seen this behavior from her before. And number two, just because you're grieving, that does not give you permission to treat other people a certain type of way. It just doesn't. Kyle says that she found Lisa Rinna to be harsh in the fact that she was yelling at Sutton and never saying anything to anybody else. And that's a great point. One that honestly I wouldn't even have looked at. But funny how in her grief and her despair and her this, that, and the third, she's coming after only Sutton. She doesn't snap on Kyle, not one time. She doesn't not one time snap on Erika. Not one time does she snap on Dorit. Not one time does she snap on Garcelle. Only Sutton. And if we look at these cast of women, then we will see that Sutton is honestly the weakest link in terms of how she's able to handle her emotions when people are coming for her. And best believe Lisa Rinna and the rest of the crew are very aware of this. And so I don't think it's by accident that Sutton is Lisa's target. Kyle says in her confessional that she wants everyone not pass judgment on Lisa. Again, y'all already know my feelings about that girl. So at what point should we? Because again, this is just repeat behavior in my book. Dorit says that Sutton needs helpful support and advice. And I'm looking at Dorit like, girl, maybe a little bit from you, but definitely not from Kyle. I mean, absolutely not. Kyle has treated Sutton terribly. The things that she says to her, no. I'm sorry, Dorit. Maybe, like I said, maybe from you, Garcelle, of course, Cherie. Definitely not from Kyle Richards. Kyle does not have Sutton's best interest at heart at all. What I believe is that Sutton needs for y'all heifers to stop talking to her any old type of way and every chance you get trying to poop on her, okay? She is not your punching bag. Whatever's going on in your households or in your life, you don't need to be taking that out on Sutton. Find something else. None of y'all women have brought any type, except for Dorit, I'll say. Everybody else, and I'm going to include Garcelle in this as well, what is your storyline? Okay, Dorit can bring up her whole robbery thing, but aside from that, if there were no Sutton strap, there would be no Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now. Let's just keep it 100. Love her, hate her, she is the show. Okay? She is the name we speak the most of, and that's just what it is. Diana visits Garcelle's home, and right away when Garcelle opens up the door, she's like, Bosnia. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna start calling Diana just Bosnia. Anywho, Diana lets Garcelle know that her jumpsuit that she's wearing, which I thought looked really nice, was actually backwards. And I was trying to figure out in my head what that would look like. And I think it would work either way, honestly. Looks fine to me. She blames this on the fact that they were partying last night. And I'm like, ma'am, weren't you the same person who was talking about when you went away on that trip with them earlier in the season, who was talking about you had too much to drink and then you wound up coming and then you had to come back home and have surgery and all of this, and your doctor thought that it was the drinking that triggered this? So do you really think it's wise to get piss poor drunk to the point where you don't know if you're wearing your outfit the right way or the wrong way? I'm just saying, somebody help me out. I felt like throughout the time that Garcelle and Diana spent together, they were having a great kiki, and it was actually a little refreshing to see that she can put on good face, if you know what I mean, to get along with Garcelle. You know, now that I think about it, could it be that Diana is just trying to get close to Garcelle at this point in time to get under Sutton's skin? Could it be that she's trying to use Garcelle to get to Sutton even the more? Y'all let me know what you feel about that in the comment section. Diana says that if Sutton were there, she and Garcelle would not be laughing like that. Of course you guys wouldn't, because for whatever reason that we all do not know, you have a problem with Sutton. It has nothing to do with your whole miscarriage situation. If you guys remember from the first time that this woman came on our TV screens, and I'm talking about Diana, she, from the jump, was coming for Sutton. So please save that. Diana shares with Garcelle that she brings what's known as Ghostbusters to clear the energy in any spaces that she enters, like any places that she's vacationing at and whatnot. I'm just like, girl, how do you know what's really going on when they spraying all that stuff and doing all that, whatever it is that they doing? She does say in her confessional that she really doesn't know what the herbs and crystals are that they're using. So why would you be okay with them putting this all up in your room? It's like, girl, that's less than smart to me. For me, myself, and I, if I'm going anywhere and I'm concerned, I'm calling on the name of Jesus. That's the only name I know to call, okay? Point blank and the period. In the next scene, Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin are at their home, and Lisa is going through her mom Lois's stuff. Shout out to Lois. Lois was definitely a breath of fresh air every time she came on the show. I really enjoyed her, and I'm going to just be honest, and y'all could take it how you want to take it. It's hard for me to understand how somebody so sweet could have a daughter that's so nasty and so vile, but I digress. So for the next scene, we are with Kyle and Mauricio at their home, and it looks like they have some type of golf course set up in there somewhere on their property. And I was looking in the background and I was like, is that a doggy house replica of Kyle's actual house? If so, that is some real rich people-ish. They then take us over to Dorit and PK's house, and I have to say, Dorit and PK's bedroom, that green bed frame that they have, to me is everything. I actually like the color emerald green. Not one of my favorite colors, but I think that is such a sophisticated, good color. I love it. So Dorit is talking to PK about Aspen, and she's telling PK that, listen, she's not going to be staying at Kyle's house. She's going to be staying with Garcelle, Sutton, and Cherie over at the guest house that Kyle provides them with. And honestly, looking at PK, he looked very upset that Dorit wasn't staying at Kyle's house. PK, it's okay. They're still going to be best friends when it's all said and done. You and Mauricio are still going to have your bromance, all right? It's going to be okay. Dorit explains that she's trying to get over the trauma of the alleged robbery that she had, and I can understand it. Honestly, you know, for something to be so traumatic, I thought that she would have definitely talked about it a whole lot more than what she has on the show. So I guess that's a good sign that she's supposedly getting over it. PK does say that he again will be off to London while Dorit is in Aspen, and I'm like, why don't these two just get a house and live in London? I don't even know if they do have a house, but PK is in London so much. I just don't understand why y'all need to be in Beverly Hills. Anywho, in the next scene, we're back at Kyle's house, and she's telling Mauricio that Dorit is supposedly staying in the guest house. So Kyle is not buying that Dorit is actually going to be able to stay in the guest house. I believe that Kyle thinks that Dorit is going to find her way over to Kyle's house. And you know what? I don't know. I really don't know. She mentions to Mauricio that she noticed that Garcelle and Sutton have now unfollowed Erika Jayne on Instagram. And I'm just like, these grown women, are we really sitting over here talking about who is unfollowing who on Instagram? Do we not have anything better to talk about? Like, how is your daughter's wedding planning coming along? What's Portia up to? Why are we talking about people unfollowing people on IG, Kyle? I find that to just be very childish. Like, I could really care less. Okay? Mauricio tells Kyle that, on this trip, he's just staying out of everything. And I'm like, you know what, Mauricio? That's the best thing for you to do. So they start to show us that all of the women are starting to get ready for the Aspen trip. And then we see that Garcelle is calling Cherie. I have to say, y'all, Cherie is a breath of fresh air on this show. Her style, her grace. I've seen her on another reality show, as I've mentioned in other reviews. I just think that Cherie is everything. Okay? Sophisticated, well-spoken, beautiful. I just love her. And I can't wait for her to get her diamond. So Cherie tells Garcelle that she can't find her wig, and then she shows Garcelle what her bedroom is looking like, and I'm like, Cherie, girl, don't let me find out you disorganized now. I'm over here singing your praises. Come on, sis, pull it together. They start to discuss Erika, and Garcelle lets Cherie know, listen, if Erika was on fire, I have no water to put her out. I said, okay, Garcelle. Cherie said, hold up. You can't even spit on her. And they had a good laugh about that. Garcelle is over Erika. It only took one good time for Erika to try Garcelle, and that was all she wrote. Next, we see that Crystal and Garcelle are talking on the phone. Garcelle is actually at the Real, where she's one of the co-hosts, and they bring up this $750,000 pair of earrings that apparently Tom's law firm, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly brought Erika. Garcelle lets Crystal know that that's one of the topics that they will be discussing on The Real. In the confessional, Garcelle says that she tried to tell the producer that she really didn't want to talk about it, but they were like, no, we're going to discuss it. If you don't have nothing else, this is what we're discussing. And they still went ahead and did the story. Low-key, can I just be real with y'all? Garcelle knows exactly what she's doing. She want to talk about this on The Real. She wants to let the people know she don't agree with Erika. It should not come as a surprise to anybody. Garcelle has let Erika know to her face that she doesn't believe some of the stuff that's going on with this situation that they're in. But best believe, Garcelle, there's a part of her that is happy, able, and willing to discuss this whole earring situation. Now we see that the women are getting on the private jet, heading off to Aspen. Kyle is bringing this dog, Storm, of hers, and I swear, every time you turn around, Kyle got this dog around. It's like, this dog might as well get a diamond too. Here goes Erika in her confessional. Aspen is for the elite. You have to be highfalutin and this, that, and the third, letting us know that she flew her own private plane into Aspen many of times. Well, this ain't one of them, girl. Okay, that was in your past life. Okay, your current situation, if I'm not mistaken, you probably would be going commercial. All right, be grateful that Kyle has this private plane for y'all to be flying on. So when they get to Kyle's house that everybody is talking about, I'm just like, this is it. Now, it's a nice house, don't get me wrong, but baby, when they showed us what the guest house was looking like, I was like, oh, absolutely yes. Garcelle, Cherie, Sutton, and Dorit, girl, y'all are living y'all's best life right now. I don't think y'all would have any complaints being at that guest house, especially if you had to deal with Kyle's dog, Storm. And we all know what that dog is capable of. Just clear out taking the food right off your plate and eating it. We see over at Kyle's house that Kathy has just arrived. Josie, she almost fell. Kathy, you all right? Kyle says in her confessional that this is the first time that she has invited Kathy over, and she's had the house for about 3 years. For me, who cares? We know that you and Kathy are not cool like that, and to be honest, I don't look at Kathy as the type that's going to be like going to the places that Kyle owns, because Kathy probably has her own place in many of the places that Kyle has. So it's not really a big deal for me. What I didn't understand is how Kyle gonna bring Kathy down to the bunk bedroom. Like, girl, what is you doing? Talk about these are the best beds in the house. Oh my God. I ain't gonna lie, they probably are, but seriously, Kathy Hilton Hilton, like not in the bunk bedroom. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. She is obviously just her wealth alone makes her high maintenance. But for her to sleep in a type of room like that and not be one of those women who want the master suite and all of that, I have to give it to her. That's pretty cool that she was just okay with being in one of those bunk beds. But maybe it was the fact also, Kathy is a little quirky, that she was just by herself and didn't really have to deal and commingle with the rest of the women. Because you do know that she's staying in the same house as Lisa Rinna and Erika Jayne. We are now at Kyle's dinner. The women from the guest house have come over and Lisa Rinna brings out a Ouija board. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe the problem with these women are they don't have enough Jesus in their life. Because baby, as Cherie said, I ain't messing with nobody's Ouija board. I know that's right. One of the questions that Kyle asks for the Ouija board is, why did Garcelle unfollow Erika on IG? And we all know Kyle wasn't asking that question for the actual Ouija board to answer. She was directing that question at Garcelle. My first thought about this is, Kyle, why are you so pressed about Instagram? Do you not have anything else going on in your life where you have to talk about Garcelle and Sutton unfollowing Erika? Girl, please have several seats. Garcelle says that she basically unfollowed Erika because she called Garcelle a liar. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I have to say though, did y'all see Kathy's reaction when Kyle had brought that up? Kathy was like, are we for real? That was my exact same reaction, Kathy. Like, why? But this your sister. Erika is like, well, you said this to this person and you said it to that person and blah, 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 blah. And Garcelle was like, and I said it to you as well when we went out for drinks. And they replayed that video and she sure did. There was no lie in that statement. Kathy's basically letting them know, I can understand where Garcelle is coming from. There are three things that if you call me, I'm going to have a problem with: liar, thief, and pedophile. Just like, pedophile? Whoa. Who is throwing around that terminology, Kathy? All I have to say about that is only Kathy Hilton. Only Kathy Hilton. Funny, did y'all catch though that thief was one of those words that she was saying? And we all know that Erika herself is being accused of being a thief. So that lets me know that, Kathy really don't rock with Erika like that. Yes, she invited her to Paris's event, but trust and believe, I'm sure she would have had some eyes on Erika if Erika actually came. Okay, Kathy, don't play that. So Garcelle says, Erika, we don't have to be friends. And I'm good with that. And Erika's like, well, I'm good with that too. One thing that I saw from this little back and forth with Garcelle and Erika, girl, you are no match for Garcelle. Erika will get it in with any and everybody. Y'all hear me? She has told off Kyle. Remember Elaine, who was friends with Lisa Rinna? She told her off. We all know she told Teddy off. We've seen her mop the floor several times with Sutton. But I have never seen Erika come at Garcelle in any type of way because she know better. All that rah-rah she does to everybody else, not to Garcelle. No, ma'am. I'm surprised that Kyle's arms are not tired from all this pot stirring she's doing tonight. And if you thought she was finished, here she goes again saying, when she made mention of the IG thing on the plane, Sutton said that it was a joke between she and Garcelle. I don't understand. Like, Kyle, please shut up. Shut up. Garcelle said that was between me and Sutton. And Kyle's like, well, I don't get it. Girl, it's because you're not supposed to. Are you not listening to what these women are saying to you? Alma, check her hearing aid. Even Dorit in her confessional is like, Kyle is just stirring the pot here. We normally have our little frivolous fights, but basically, why is she so invested? I have never seen Kathy chime in so much as I've seen her chime in this episode. She says, and nobody cares. And Kathy, you are absolutely right. Nobody cares. Erika doesn't seem to be bothered by it. Garcelle and Sutton are not bothered by it. Why are you so bothered, Kyle? Because you ain't got nothing else to talk about. Girl, please go somewhere. So after Kathy said what she said, Kyle gets to raise in her voice and says, it's about intention. Even if it is about intention, Kyle, nobody cares. Leave it alone. Sutton says to the group, well, nobody cared that Erika called me a cunt. And I said, you know what, Sutton is absolutely correct. So y'all are so bothered and so concerned about an Instagram situation, but nobody's concerned that this woman has called Sutton out of her mouth with one of the dirtiest, nastiest words you can use? Make it make sense. Then Diana says to Sutton, well, you are a cunt. Erika Jayne with that stupid laugh of hers. She really found that to be so funny. Girl, Oh my God. I'm with Garcelle. Wow. For real, there is no love lost. There is no care. There is no nothing. Garcelle is like, I am done with Erika Jayne. Garcelle says to Diana, that's not okay. I feel like that's one of Garcelle's favorite statements to make. That's not okay. I'm just looking at the situation like, Diana, why are you interjecting yourself in this whole situation? What these women are talking about has nothing to do with you. This is Sutton, Garcelle, and Erika. Where do you fit into this equation? So here she goes. And where was all of that talk of, Sutton needs the support? Dorit, where you at, girl? Like, you supposed to be the support. You're not saying nothing. Funny how Kyle conveniently returns at this particular point in time. So Diana gives a half you-know-what apology saying that it was uncivilized for her to have said what she said. And Erika's like, what are you talking about? Girl, between Erika and Lisa Rinna, this show, when I tell you, it just has become toxic, nasty TV. It just really, like, as a viewer, I'm invested because I'm making these videos, but as a viewer, I just find their behavior to be so repulsive, and it just angers me. So Garcelle asks Diana why she doesn't like Sutton. And to me, Diana was talking a whole bunch of BS. Girl, give me a real concrete reason why you don't like this woman. When she brings up this whole, my miscarriage thing, I didn't even take it to be that serious. Like, girl, nobody even knew the severity that you were dealing with. If y'all recall, Kyle was like, girl, I didn't even know it was that bad. I thought that this happened a while ago. So why are you trying to make this whole miscarriage thing stick when it comes to Sutton? We all know it is not Sutton's way to make light of things like that. So that's not even a valid argument to me. I don't want to hear anything about that. Goes on to say, when Sutton comes for people when they're at their weakest. Who does she come for at their weakest? Because she questioned Erika last year? Like, really? Like, I'm confused. And I feel in this moment, the silence of everybody else in the room is crazy to me. Like, I'm looking at Garcelle like, are you going to say anything? But then I had to realize if Sutton is not saying anything to defend herself, who is Garcelle to stand up there and say anything? Garcelle can only do but so much, can only say but so much. There comes a point in time where Sutton, you have to stand on your own 2 feet and let these women know once and for all, I'm not taking your BS. And if you're not going to do that, and I'm sitting there watching everything happen, and I've defended you before, like Garcelle has, I'm not interjecting either. So I can understand why Garcelle didn't say nothing. In Crystal's confessional, she said Sutton will apologize a million times and nothing will change. At this point, it's asinine. You can only defend yourself but so much. Sutton has apologized over and over and over again. The amount of apologies that she has given Diana over this whole situation is ridiculous at this point in time. She said what she said. She apologized, even though I don't think there was anything wrong with what she said. You've accepted the apology. Now move on. Usually when people apologize and you say you're going to move on, you actually do it. Diana walks away crying off because she needs her moments. Garcelle says in her confessional, when she and Diana were done having their kiki at her house, she thought that Diana was going to give Sutton a second chance. I have to say, like, this is the second time that I've heard after somebody sitting down with Diana, getting one vibe from her and then watching her go in the complete opposite direction. Remember when she and Sutton had sat down and they went for drinks or something like that, and they had buried the hatchet at one point, and Sutton thought that they were cool. Come to find out, Diana was just playing Sutton for a fool. Now we have the same situation happening with Garcelle and Diana. Diana is just fake. That's just what it is, okay? She's just fake, and she, Lisa, and even Erika, y'all can exit stage left for me. Kyle says in her confessional with a barely straight face, some people might find what Diana is saying to be mean, but I can respect that she's honest. Okay. Let her have said half of the stuff that she said to Sutton to you. Let's see how you really feel about that. That pretty much wraps up the episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I want to know what y'all feel about this episode because for me, this was like disgusting. I was just so upset with how these women behaved themselves and the things that were coming out of their mouth. So much for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.